Okay, I guess we're live. Not sure, there's a kind of a fuzzy thing over here. Let me see if I can get everything up on my computer so I can see what people are saying, because I am old and I can barely see all the stuff on here. So let's go here, and there we go. Oh yes, and now I have to turn the sound down because everything echoes. Oh yes, and now I have to turn the sound down because everything echoes. Oh yes, and now I have to turn the sound down because everything echoes. Okay. All right. So we're in our live chat. Hi, Sent One. How are you? Or Sent 1000, or it's Sent 1000. See, I'm old, I don't see all the zeros after stuff. So, we're here, we're talking about travel. I get to talk about it, don't get to necessarily do it right now, every once in a while. So what's going on here in California is we're not in a complete shutdown, but they've re-shut down a lot of areas. And we're in a really rural area up in the mountains, but we do get a whole lot of travelers here. And a lot of people who are in areas, I can't see out my glasses, who are in areas that have been shut down keep coming here, which I don't think is the point of the shutdown. But anyway, they've been coming up here. Well, we just had our first 2 deaths in our county yesterday. Oh, number one, I'll call you Sent number one. Okay, sorry about that, Sent 1000. So anyway, we have issues with a lot of travelers coming up here and bringing the COVID. So we hardly had anyone in the whole county having the COVID at all. But then as people started coming up more and more, especially after 4th of July, but also into, which one is it? Memorial Day weekend. So now we've had people come up, and it's been adding more and more cases. But up until yesterday, we didn't have any deaths in our county. The county just to the north of us, which is where I work at Bear Valley, they had their first death a few days ago, and then yesterday we had 2. And they haven't given us much information on who it is, because of HEPA laws and things like that. So the one over in Calaveras, I'm not sure about that. But one of the ones here, the information we do have, it was a gentleman who was 60 years old, but he was in perfect health, didn't have asthma, didn't have any immune diseases or heart issues or anything, and he's gone. And so that, it's, I realize everybody says it's just 1%, but I mean, to 150,000 Americas, that 1% is devastating. It's really sad. So, every once in a while I've gotten out to do stuff. We've done social distancing videos. And I did a video last week where we were over in Calaveras County, the one to the north, at Union Reservoir. Beautiful lake, absolutely gorgeous. Has all sorts of little islands all over it. And there's campgrounds. There's a campground at the river, and then a few miles later there's campgrounds at both Utica and at Union. And they have like all the things that you normally have at campgrounds. Like there's a bear box, because there's lots of bears. There's a bear box. There's a table with chairs, not chairs, but a bench and picnic table. And then there's a bathroom. But we don't really do a whole lot of campground camping. Every once in a while we do. If there's like a large group coming and not everybody has kayaks. But we got in our kayaks, and my friend Jen had been there for several days, so she sent me, which island they were on, and really good instructions, because, it's, when you got a lot of islands, it's kind of, you're like, well, where is it? And then she put a little blue, well, it's not a windsock, it was some sort of a bag from all of her camping gear, but she tied that up. So we were able to find it. Beautiful area. But because we're out on an island, we're not in a campground, we were able to social distance and still travel. And a few weeks before that, we were up at one of my favorite places up the mountain, and I'm not going to say the name. I very rarely withhold the name, but this place hardly has any people at it at all. It's easy to, keep your distance and stuff, but one of the roads is washed out that gets to everything. So the only way you can get your boats in the water is you have to carry them down by hand down a really steep little path. And consequently, only canoers and kayakers are down there. And every once in a while, you see one of those little metal tinfoil boats that fishermen use. I don't know how they get them down there or back up, but it's only small boats right now, so it's really private. That was nice. I haven't been. I did do a video on my hometown. And that was kind of easy to do because since it was my hometown, I knew all the places I wanted to shoot. And I was kind of in and out and didn't have to wander around amongst people too much. But I'm really getting to the point where I want to really get out and about and do some different towns and things. I've got a lot of the historical places around here. So I see 2 people in here, but only sent 1,000 or sent 1 or whatever. I'm wondering if my computer is registering me as one of the people. So, well, if it's me and I'm registered as a person, I can hit my like. So there. Now I have 2 likes. So, sent 1. What part of the where are you from? Oh, you saw the other person? Oh, okay. Okay, where are you from? Are you... Oh, you're in Washington State. Oh, I love Washington. I spent 6 years when I was in college in Portland. And maybe we shouldn't talk about Portland right now. It seems to be not just a hot spot for political reasons, but it seems to get everybody wound up. But I love Portland. One of the things I loved about Portland is all through the city there are these hills that are parks. They're, city parks like Mount Tabor and stuff. And, oh, you were raised in Vallejo? Okay. Sort of a local boy. I mean, I'm in the mountains, Vallejo's down. But yeah, same part of California. Same part of California. So, and then in my first marriage, my sister-in-law lived in Seattle. And I love the Pacific Northwest. But I have asthma and issues with my lungs, and after a while just being in the constant moisture and wetness, I had to come back down to California. But I still, every once in a while, it's been a very long time since I've gotten back up there, but I kind of plan on going, well, no, I can't say plan, I planned on going up. My husband was supposed to do something in Idaho, up at the very top at Bonners Ferry, and then we were going to swing back by through Oregon and do some stuff. We were also going to stop in Boise, Idaho. Yeah, the breathing problems. So, and then all that trip is kind of just placed on hold because, we can't get out and about. So, a lot of my really good plans are on hold. They're not gone. They're still here, but I have to put them off. And I'm not quite sure even what's going to happen with my grandkids and their schooling, because even a couple of the schools in the county aren't going to open. On the eastern border of Washington. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, you know where Bonners Ferry is? It's really nice up there. And sent 1,000. Have you ever been in Val's Life chat? She lives in Boise. I was planning on going up there and stopping in to see her. So I was going to kind of be hit. Yeah, I thought that's where I knew you from. So it's like I had this whole plan. I was going to do this whole loop, and no loop right now. Nope. So what moved you up to Washington? I'm curious about that. Up there into, well, that's actually rainforest up there. So I spent a lot of time. I had friends when I was in college in Portland who lived in Washington, so we'd go up there and visit their families and stuff. Washington is absolutely beautiful. Oh, to get away from your dad. Well, I get that. That's part of the reason I went to college in Portland, so that, you know, my mom was kind of like wanting me to stay and go to college here, and I was like, no, I think I want to go to Portland. I had friends who were at the college up in Portland that I knew, and I loved it up there. I absolutely loved it up there. And of course, Portland's on the wet side of Oregon, and then the eastern side is more dry. Desmond's Donders, how you doing, David? So yeah, I have loved every place that I've lived, and I don't mind moving. But you know, when I finally came back to this is my county where my family's from, I stayed here. And fortunately, when my husband retires, we're going to trick out the van and we're going to travel around so I can still live here, but go and do all sorts of other things. Yeah, the east side of the state during the summer, definitely. But you know what? You got to be careful. I hear that you have vampires up there in Washington, right? Isn't that where they did a lot of the filming for that vampire series? I can't remember the name of it. But yeah, so you've got vampires and werewolves up there. I don't know. So anyway, my throat's dry. So do you guys have any new videos out you want to promote? I'll let everybody know. Oh, they're called, yeah, the vampires are called politicians. I can believe that. Absolutely. Yeah. So, yeah. Well, okay. I have a little bit of travel news. Lately I've been doing a question of like, what would you rather do type thing, and we're going to do that later. And then we have our travel trivia. But I've decided I'm going to start doing some random travel news. And so today's travel news is that if you're traveling to Hawaii, remember, if you break quarantine, you will go to jail. You will be arrested. I did not know this. I found this out today. They've already arrested 200 people. My question would be, why would you go to Hawaii? I mean, unless you live there. Why would you go to Hawaii if you have to stay quarantined for 2 weeks? That just kind of doesn't seem like a vacation to me. So maybe the 200 people that have been arrested are people who've come home from other places and have left their quarantine. I don't know, but let's see. You have a new one coming out, Desmond Donders. So it's coming out tomorrow and Friday. Oh, you got two. Okay, so what are they about? You want to give us a heads up so we can get all anticipating and excited about it? My question is, what law is being imposed to make us masks and stay in quarantine? But that's my question and opinion. Yeah, I don't want to get into the whole politics of it. I just know that they are. So for me, you know, even though I have asthma, it doesn't hurt me to put a mask on when I go into a store for 15 minutes. So I just do it. And I guess, you know, with science, they keep learning things, and some of the things that they think at one time they can discount and then get rid of it, and other things keep coming in. So yeah, I was never a science major. I was an arts major. So yeah, don't ask me about sciencey stuff. So anyway, Desmond's Donder says tomorrow is about things we love and hate about our RV. Oh, you can't not like your RV. You can't hate that. So what things that we love and hate about our RV, we kind of drift off topic. That's me. Friday is the last day trip before we're back to Donner's. Okay. So, yeah. What? Oh, man. You've got a great little vehicle there. But, yeah, I know how things are. There can be things that you just, you know, drive you nuts, things that you'd change on your build. Okay, sent 1,000, sent 1,000. I'm gonna just die trying to say that. I'll just call you sent one. Sent one. You can think one thing about RVs for me, and that is funny. Yeah, okay. Yeah, none of the hate turn to be about the okay. Yeah. Well, I've been doing a whole lot of YouTube videos for the past couple of years, just planning out what we're going to do to the husband's van when he retires. And I've actually, I changed my mind a couple of times. At first I saw, oh, these pattern and everybody was using it, and then I was going, but I don't want to make the bed every day. You know, turn it into the sofa. So I went, okay, I want a stationary bed. And so for me, it's small spaces. Even the kitchen I have in the house is too small for me. So yeah, you wouldn't be one of those people that would want to get a tiny house, would you? My friends live in a tiny house. In fact, when you drive up to it, people go, do they live in a shed? And no, it's not a shed. It is tiny, but it's got 2 floors. Fixed bed, yeah, I agree. I just can't see, for 2 reasons. One, what if my husband wants to go to bed and I want to read? You know, and okay, so now we have to get this all set up, and I want the bed at the back, and I want swivel seats. I want swivel seats for the driver's seat and the passenger seat. Yes, it's a 2-floor shed, but they've got downstairs, there's a little bathroom, there's a kitchen area, and then a main area. And then she has like tansu style stairs going up, you know, the tansu where there's cabinets and stuff. She's got it sort of jerry-rigged now, but she's building a full tansu set to go up to the upstairs. And the upstairs is pretty large, and it's quite warm upstairs in the winter. Now that's by Bear Valley, so that's at about, it's almost 8,000 feet. So she does say in the winter, even inside, now like I said, the bedroom's warm because heat rises, but she go downstairs to the kitchen and the dog's bowl, the water dish is frozen, and so she has to break it up. So yeah, then she has to turn the heater on and everything gets warm again. Desmond is bigger than some tiny houses. Yeah, I have seen some vans that I really believe are kind of bigger than tiny houses because you don't have to, all that space that's used up by various things like, you know, superfluous furniture and stuff like that. So yeah, I want the bed at the back, and then I want a potty, but I'm going to put a potty, and then I'm going to have a fold down thing that comes like this, so that it's like the potties, you can't see it, and then I can use that as an end table, and then I'm going to have a bench, and then on the other side I'm going to have a kitchen unit. So, and then like I said, I want the captain's chairs to swivel, and then there's lots of room, and then if somebody wants to go to bed, they go get in the bed, but the other person can sit in the captain's chairs and sit and read or watch YouTube videos, or me play games. I'm an avid game player. So does Desmond have a toilet, David? Does Desmond have all the amenities? I don't want a shower. I think that's too much plumbing for me. And so what I hear people get gym memberships at national places, and they'll use those as they're traveling. And I've always been an avid camper, so I'll get me a loofah sponge and just sponge down at night. So, you have a toilet and a shower. Oh, well, you're very posh, aren't you? So, have you done a van tour video? I don't think I've seen a van tour. I've seen like you sitting in it, or seen Desmond's Donders from like a distance sitting behind you when you're talking, but have you ever done a van tour? Those are really popular, and I would really like to see the inside of your van. That doesn't sound right, but I'd like to see how you have your van set up. Long time ago? Yeah, do another one now. You know, I think, you know, even if we've done a video, if it's been a couple of years or so, a lot of people don't go back and look at your old videos. They just don't. Or if they happen to run across it, it's maybe gotten suggested to them. So doing another one, I don't think would be redundant. I think because a lot of people like me would really be interested in seeing it. Okay, I have a question. It's a would you rather one. Okay, we're on an airplane. Let's make it a 6-hour trip. Journeyman, hello, welcome. So we're doing a would you rather travel question. We're on an airplane. It's not like transatlantic. It's not like a bazillion hours. Let's say it's a 5-hour flight, okay? Would you rather sit next to the plane chatterbox who never stops talking, or would you rather sit next to a crying baby? Think about it. Both are difficult, and oh, the last flight I was in, she wasn't next to me, but the baby was directly behind me, and it drove me nuts. However, I have sat next to the chatterbox too. Yeah, Desmond, I think I'm with you. I think I would rather sit next to the chatterbox and then put those ear things in like I'm listening to music, even if I'm not listening to music. Maybe put some, eye things on, pretend to be asleep, get some respite that way. But no baby, no, that crying baby is going to drive me nuts. Yeah, like I said, the last flight I was on, baby behind me was crying and crying and crying. And, it's not the baby's fault. They're in a weird situation. They don't know what's going on. It's not really the parents' fault, but it's so irritating. Yeah, threats do work better on a chatterbox. If the baby's old enough, you can tempt it with sweets or something. Here, I'll give you candy. But no, a little baby crying. There's not much that can stop that. However, sometimes they cry themselves out. That wasn't the case on that last flight that I took. The baby never cried itself out. And it was it was San Jose to Phoenix, Arizona. So I think it probably was only a 3.5 hour flight, which isn't bad. Maybe 3-hour flight. So, all right, one more would you rather. Would you rather be able to speak fluently in another language? Hi, Mama Mudmower, how are you? We're doing would you rather questions right now. Would you rather, when you're traveling to another country, be able to speak fluently but not be able to understand what they're saying? Or would you rather understand everything they're saying but not be able to speak the language? And I've spent a lot of time in Mexico with my Spanish is what they say, bastante a comer. Bastante a comer means I know enough to eat. So I can go into a restaurant and order. I can go to a grocery store and do that. But yeah, I think so too. I would rather understand. You can pantomime. You can understand other things too. Like if there's a dangerous situation and you don't understand, you don't know what's going on, but somebody, you can hear what's going on around you. So yeah, I honestly think that I would much rather understand than be able to speak. But I'm glad that these would you rather questions don't come up in real life. So beer is similar all over the world and pointing works. Yes, exactly. Oh, I have this great story about, one of the, we have done, my husband and I have done a whole lot of volunteer work down in Mexico. He's a flooring contractor, so he's done a lot of floors down in drug rehabs, missions, and stuff like that. And I've done a lot of volunteer work in Mexican prisons. Anyway, we're leaving one prison that's in Mexicali, and we were going over to another prison that's in Ensenada. And we were going along the border. We decided we were going to enter at Tecate. Now, Tecate is famous for a beer, a little tiny border town. But we're in Tecate. We need to have some Tecate. So we went into there and we get a couple of Tecates out of the the little cold case that they have over here. Oh, no. The proprietor goes, no, you can't have those. And there's this big, giant barrel of ice. And this little short man dove head first. I mean, all we could see was his butt and his legs. He was that far down into the ice and comes up with 2 from the bottom. Coldest beer I've ever had. It was so good. And that's my Tecate story. Okay, we've got some comments here. Who found what under... Somebody found something under floors, and I missed where it is. It must be back. Alabama roll typo. My brother-in-law is yeah, is from Alabama. In fact, years ago, and he still has it on his car, I got him a Crimson Tide thing that holds his license plate. Oh, my husband's under the prison floors. No. He's laying floors right now as we speak and coming home. Yeah, no, he went into the prison a couple of times, but he was really there to support the people coming out of the prison, and so there are a lot of drug rehabs, and they're not just for people coming out of rehab, but there also were missions for people coming out, and they needed a place to stay, not get back down into whatever life they had been living in. And so we had a friend who had a halfway house. We had a couple of friends that had different halfway houses, and so we'd put floors in there. So yeah, he did a lot of that, and I did a lot of work with mostly with the women in the Mexican prisons. No, he wasn't fixing the prison floors. Ew, no, those floors are horrible, but they're mostly cement. So, and no, he's not under the floors. Okay, let's do some travel trivia. Here's the first one, and I try to get stuff from all over the world, because, like, David, you are from, oh my gosh, upper part of Britain. My brain's not working. You're from Scotland. And so I'm trying to do some from, yes, Scotland. I'm trying to do some from like Europe, some from South America, so all, and all over the place, Asia. That way, if somebody's from a different area, it's not, all USA stuff that you might not know. I might not know. Okay, how many lion statues? How many lion statues are in Trafalgar Square? There are bronze lion statues. David says 3. Set 1 is talking about cement and, oh, you want to make yourself a pizza oven. Okay, I thought maybe the pizza was as hard as cement. I would love to make a pizza oven. In fact, the video that I made a couple of weeks ago, Set 1000, you got it. It's 4. There are 4 bronze lions in Trafalgar Square. So the restaurant that my grandkids and I ate at when I did my hometown video has actually, my husband laid the floors there, and he was there when it was delivered. It's a brick fire roasted oven for pizzas. Actually came all the way over from Italy, so it's really hotsy-totsy posh. Okay. Yes, it was 4 bronze lions. Okay. Another question. Which state in the United States legalized gambling in 1931? Which U.S. state legalized gambling in 1931? Yes. Yes, David. It's Nevada. Now, I thought it was going to be a trick question, especially since it said 1931, because I didn't really realize that it had been legalized there that far back. And it had like 3 questions on there, and one was New Jersey and one was California. Well, I knew it wasn't California because that's just been within the past 10, 15 years. But New Jersey was one on there, and I do know that New Jersey, it might have been around, for even longer than 1931. So I thought it might have been. Yeah, especially if you like mobs and stuff. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, that was an easy one, but I thought it might be tricky, and I was trying to be all. Anyway. So. Okay. What is Italy's most popular frozen dessert? Now, I'm not going to make you name the flavor because they had a list of them and there were different flavors, but not technically Desmond's Donders. There's another, yes, gelato. Yeah, the flavored ice was number 2, the Granada. And frozen pizza. Hey, whatever floats your boat. I like cold pizza, but not frozen pizza. Yeah, my favorite breakfast in the morning is pizza from the night before. That is my favorite. Or Chinese food from the night before. I know that's odd, but the flavor. See, now the flavors put it in different spots. In the tin, you had like chocolate was kind of in the middle, so they were very specific. But the flavor, their favorite flavor was pistachio. So, see me, it would be chocolate. It'd have to be chocolate. But no, their favorite was pistachio. Getting hungry now. Someone said pizza. I know. I want a pizza so bad. I wanted a pizza the other night, but the pizza in our town, our little town, is not that great. There's one pizza parlor there, and my husband says no Chinese food. So in order to get good pizza, we have to go further up the mountain, and I just didn't feel like driving that far. Okay, so not surprising considering they do like weird stuff like that. Yeah. There is a gelato stand down in Anaheim. And it's about, if you're going down Harbor, Disneyland is here and it's on Harbor and Catella. If you're going down Harbor, it's about a mile down Harbor. And it used to be this little tiny, looked like, a Dairy Queen type thing, a little tiny old building. And then a couple of years ago when we were back down there, they moved across the street to this big, huge place. But they have the best frozen desserts, Italian. They had ices and gelatos, and then they have these ice. It's like kind of like shaved ice, but it's like a icy thing with flavor in it. And then they take this tube down, and then they shoot the gelato in the middle. So now you're getting the shaved ice, and then you're getting the gelato in the middle, and it comes up. Oh. On a hot day, that stuff is really good. Yeah, like snow cones with ice cream in the middle of them. It's really good. So now whenever we're down in Southern California, even if we're not stopping in Anaheim, we have to pull off the road and go get one of those gelatos. Okay, question number 4 in our travel trivia. Question number 4 is, in North America, road signs facing what direction usually wear out first? I know, snow cone sounds really good right now. It's really hot here, and there's clouds over the top, so it's kind of hot and muggy too. So a snow cone would be really good right now. Nope, not west. Who said south? Journeyman said south? You're right. And that's because the angle of the sun fades them all off. So, Journeyman, yeah, if we say all 4 directions, sooner or later someone's going to get it. But no, Journeyman got it with south. So, oh, I'm sorry. I lied. It's north. Who said north? Sent 1000. Okay. I was looking at something else. Yes, it's north because of I guess. Hello, Road Trip Eddie. Welcome. I'm doing good. How about you? The next answer is south. No. No. Okay. We're doing travel trivia. And okay, here's an interesting one. Now remember I said we were going to head down to South America as well. How many bridges cross the Amazon? How many bridges cross the Amazon? Pretty big river. In fact, is it the Amazon or the Nile? David, you're just too smart. Yes, no bridges. It's in such rural areas that there are very few actual communities that border it, and they just haven't found the need to make a bridge. They all have like boats to go across and stuff. So I thought that was really interesting, and I was really surprised. I went back and checked it 3 times on 3 different sites to make sure that, a bridge hadn't snuck in there. You're doing, what are you doing in the Gila Forest? And where is the Gila Forest? Okay, so we have Ned. Because there are a few settlements along there, and they're all very rural settlements. All right, here is the last. Nile is in Egypt. Amazon is in South America. Yes. So, I was wondering where Gila was. What country? And we're going to get techie now. What country has the most robots in the world? What country has the most robots? Oh, okay. I thought it was in New Mexico, but I wasn't sure. Oh, I'll bet it's hot down there right now. Are you just absolutely melting? Yes, Japan. Now go figure, that's such a tiny country, but they have the most robots in the world. Of course, they're so technical. They get into all, and I guess a robot doesn't have to be as big as Robbie the robot. They have little teeny ones that scoot around and stuff. But yeah, that is where it is. It's in Japan. So I have a friend who at Bear Valley that I worked there. It was last January, and he had gotten a couple of weeks off from work. He was one of the managers or one of the supervisors, and he went to Japan. There's a place in Japan, because we're skiing. Well, he was a rider. He rides snowboard, but there's a place in Japan that has the coldest snow on Earth. Because the weather front comes out across like Siberia and everything before it gets to Japan, and he had been waiting for ever wanting to get there. Oh yeah, Japan's on my bucket list too. I used to work years and years ago at a Japanese restaurant, and I'm fully addicted. So he went over there, and it was right as COVID. I mean, it was January when we were just learning about COVID. So everybody, when he got back, was walking around like this, trying to, you just stay over there, we'll stay over here. But we kept calling him a carrier. He wasn't. But, yeah, I love Japan. I've not been there, but I love the culture. I have friends who are from Japan, and the food. Oh, just the food is so wonderful. So yeah, that's on my bucket list. Maybe Lindsay and I can go together. But yeah, I would love to go to Japan. So yeah, I'm trying to think of what my top 3. We talked about last time, what your top thing place you'd want to go. But it's like now I'm trying to figure out, okay, if I had the wherewithal, what are 3 places that I want to go? And I think for me, I would want to go to 3 completely different places. I wouldn't want to go to like 3 places in Europe, because they're not the same cultures and all, but they're very similar. They have a shared background. I want to do something totally different, and I think it would be, I had said Britain. Yes, Scotland is where you want to be. Yeah, but you live there. You get to be there all the time. So I would want to do Great Britain, and see all of that. And then I think I would want to do Japan. And then last on my list, someplace in Africa. And I have a cousin who does missions work down in Malawi. So maybe go visit her. So that's like 3 totally different things. And then I think that would, I'm the type of person that, like if I go to Chinese food, I want the platter with all the different things, with the combo plate, because I don't want to commit to just one thing. And I think that with travel, I'd like to do a bunch of different things. So, anyway, how about you guys? If you had 3 different places, where would you like to go? And Desmond's Donders, you can't say Scotland, you're already there. Ooh, Sicily. Oh, Sicily. Yeah, those meatballs. Sicilian meatballs are different than regular Italian meatballs. They put fennel, and that gives it a little extra pop to the flavor. I love Sicilian meatballs. So how about the rest of you? Anybody else have a place that they would? 3 places. We did 1 place the last time, but now it's like 3 places. different Japan. Yeah, when I was in Cancun, we could see Cuba when we stood on the shore. It's all of those little areas, because of the way the Caribbean is, are within sight of each other. 3 places. Yeah, well, that's why I said, we all have this is my favorite place I would love to go to. But if you had 3, for me, it would be completely different places. And that choice could change as time goes on. Because a lot of our ski instructors that come up to Bear Valley are from South America. And so they're like, oh, you should come down and visit us. Of course, I can't, COVID. But, and their winter is opposite our winter. So they're down there, they can teach skiing down there, and then they come up here and teach skiing here. But most of them are actually college students. But our winter is their summer, and they have that time off. Napa Valley wineries are wonderful, yes. In fact, if you get the chance to go to Napa Valley area, if you go further, there's Calistoga, and they've got all of these geothermal, areas that have like mud baths and stuff like that. But also, not too far, somewhere between the Napa area and Calistoga, is the CIA. And I don't mean like, the James Bond type CIA. The Culinary Institute of America is there, and I have eaten there. I was in heaven. It's difficult. I've traveled all over the world. Places I would like to go back to: Key West, there you go, Sicily, and Thailand. I had a roommate in college who had grown up in Thailand, and his mother sent me some Thai silk one time, and I made a beautiful dress out of it, and then in one of my moves I lost it. But he would fix Thai food. We had a whole bunch of us that lived in a condo, and he introduced me to black rice. So it's actually more purple than black, but oh, I love Thai food. Patagonia, Australia, and the Panama Canal. Oh, those are some good choices. Those are some good choices. Yes, the Panama Canal would be interesting. A friend of mine bought a big sailboat. We've had smaller sailboats, but his was big. In fact, the outside of it was actually the same sailboat in Captain Ron. The interior was totally different, but it's the same boat from Captain Ron, and he sailed it from Florida, I believe it was Florida, all the way through the Panama Canal, and then back up and to Santa Cruz, California, where they had a slip there. But he was talking about Panama, and yeah, that's kind of that is a cool area to see, and going through all the locks and everything. Thai food is gorgeous. I absolutely agree with you. My husband was, we went to, in the Bay Area, I can't remember. We went to a restaurant called Lemongrass, and it was Thai food, but it was Thai fusion with a few other. Oh, it's like, and then we went back again and we ate there again. There's an old music place, where live bands play. And so there were a couple of times live bands played there. So if we go there, that's the only place we eat at. The food was incredible. I do a few things, Thai recipes myself, but they're me making Thai recipes. So, but I do have this one recipe that I love to do. I put it in a crock pot. I take just a couple of frozen chicken breasts, stick it in a crock pot, pour coconut milk in, and then put sriracha, gotta have some heat, and ginger, and lemongrass, and curry. And then I put onions and carrots and stuff. And I turn that on, and when I get home from work, it's passable. It's not exact science of how you do Thai food, but it tastes good, and I didn't have to do anything. I started it in the morning. But I do love Thai food. So Desmond says, you met a Thai cook that realized you love Thai food, and he made a load of stuff that they did not make for the restaurant. Awesome stuff. Yeah. When you run into somebody who does the real stuff, always have them do like home food or something that isn't on the menu. When I worked at the Japanese restaurant when I was in my 20s, at the end of the day, after the restaurant had closed, then the owner and the chefs would get together and they'd cook us all dinner. And it was all sorts of stuff that was just like peasant food. It was so good, and you never get it at a restaurant. I've never seen any of these things in a restaurant, but yeah, some of the times you get that grandma's favorite recipe thing. It's killer. So yeah, I totally understand meeting a chef and then they fix you something that isn't on the menu. Well, if you think about it, you go to an American restaurant, or in your case, you go to a restaurant in Scotland. They're going to do their premium best-selling dishes. Hi, Gemma's Journey Grace. Welcome to chat. We've done all of our trivia, so you don't get to participate in that. I'm sorry. So, okay, let's talk about if you were traveling. And okay, now you've already said what place you want to be. Gemma, pick a country that if you were traveling you would want to go to. And what dish would you like to try from that place? So let's see, I chose Japan, I chose Britain, and I chose the whole continent of Africa because I don't know exactly where I want to end up, but probably Malawi, and I don't know enough about Malawian food. I'd have to ask my cousin. But, so I'm going to go with France. You know what? Snails are good. Especially if they're done in a garlic butter sauce. When our kids were little, we always used to make them try different things. We wouldn't tell them what they were. And so they had their first escargot when they were quite small, and they liked it. And then we told them it was snails. And it was kind of, ew, but then, okay, that wasn't bad. So, yeah, escargot is good. It's good. But, they're a crustacean. They're related to, like, clams and stuff. So think about it. You'd eat a clam. You'd eat an oyster or something, or a mussel. So, yeah, in a good... they have to be cleaned correctly, or they taste kind of grassy. But... now, where do you want to try the meatball and pizzas? Oh, yes, in Italy? In Sicily, yes. Those meatballs in Sicily. I had a friend whose grandmother was Sicilian, and she would fix us meatballs. And the Sicilian ones, they just have that extra anise flavor. But it's not anise. What is it? Can't think of the spice, but it has the anisey flavor, but it's not anise. It's, darn it. Well, it'll come to me in the middle of the night, and I'll sit straight up and go, that was it. But it has a sort of an anisey flavor. Fennel. Thank you, David. Fennel. I lose words, I'm old, and no, I've lost words. I've lost words ever since I was about 25. I was in a car accident, and I split all of the different, you have plates in your head, and so every once in a while, it's not horrible, but every once in a while I'll just go, I lost another word. So thank you for supplying fennel. Fennel is what's in those meatballs that is so good. So yeah, fennel is good Greek and Italian herb. It is, it really is. I have fennel in my pantry. So I think, it's so hard to pick any one food from Japan because I'm still thinking. Gemma, have you thought of a food that you wanted to try? So, I just, what's my favorite? I love tonkatsu, but, because I like tonkatsu sauce. I use tonkatsu sauce. Japanese people laugh at me. I use it as a regular condiment. Tonkatsu is a pork that's breaded and then deep fried, and then the sauce is sort of barbecue-y, but not barbecue-y. Oh, Gemma, I love tacos. And Mexican tacos. My favorite Mexican taco is al pastor, and they have a rotisserie now. Like in a lot of rotisseries, the rotisserie goes this way. But in the Mexican taco stands, the rotisserie goes like this, and then they pack all sorts of meats, hams and pork and stuff like that, going like this. But then after a layer of it, then they put a piece of pineapple, and then more, and then pineapple, and then more, and then all this pineapple juice just drips down into that pork, and then there's adobo sauce on it. And you can get tacos al pastor here in the United States, but it's not the same. They just fry it up in a pan, and no, this slow cook, and then they shave it off the sides. I think it's kind of like the Greeks do with their gyros, but it's like a spit that goes this way, and then they just shave the cooked stuff off. Those are my favorite tacos ever. So yeah, tacos. There's so many different kinds, Gemma. You can get shredded beef, shredded. Okay, now you're hungry, David. Yeah. So yeah, I could talk about food for hours, but especially Mexican food, which Mexico wasn't on my list because I've already been to Mexico so many times. But yeah, tacos and pizza, Desmond. Yeah, that's a good combo anytime. But yeah, I had, and I love lobster, but in was it? No, it was when I was in Cancun. No, was it in Cancun? No, it wasn't. It was in Ensenada, and I had a lobster burrito. Now I love lobster. I thought, oh, this is going to be so good. No, the sauce covered up the lobster flavor, and then it was just kind of saucy, spongy. I've never been so disappointed in my life because I was like, lobster and burrito, what could possibly go wrong? I was wrong. Totally wrong. So, Americans do love tacos. Yes, we do. Oh, they're so good. Well, you know what? They're not difficult to make, Gemma. You have tortillas there, right? Yeah, you've got tortillas there. Happy Trails Hiking. Hello. Welcome to chat. We're all drooling and talking about foreign foods that we would love to try, or if we were in a different country to eat. And Gemma's got us talking about tacos. Scent1000 is talking about meatballs and Italian food and such. So I haven't decided. I asked the question and I was like, oh, well, no, I want this too. Oh, no, I want this too. But then, and it wasn't even on the place that I had chosen, but then Gemma was talking about tacos, so then I was talking about, ooh, stir fry. I love stir fry too. I was talking about my favorite tacos. Nabul, hello. Welcome to chat. So, wow, people are popping in. Yeah, it's everywhere I go. I think I might. Sorry, David. I don't know that I'd want to try haggis, but I would, because when I was in Mexico, I was offered barbecue crickets, and I did eat them. So there are very few things that I don't think I would try. Under the rabbit hole, they were talking about it's an Icelandic shark that it's poison if you eat it, and you have to do all of these steps in order to make it. They pickle it and do all sorts of stuff. And she says even once they pickle it, it still smells like urine because the shark has something like an antifreeze in it, and it's like a physical antifreeze, but anyway. So they were talking about that, and I'm like, okay, if I had to choose between one or the other, I would try haggis. Yeah, down the rabbit hole is a great challenge, but she couldn't try it. They gave her a little teeny piece, and she was going to do it, and then she got it next to her face, and she smelled it, and it was like urine. She couldn't do it. And I don't blame her. I don't think I could put something that smelled like urine in my mouth, although I have done some really odd things. So I don't know if you gave me some. Oh, my glasses are all lopsided. If you gave me enough wine, I might be able to do it. You challenged Marty. I have to go down here because that disappeared up there. Marty to try a Norwegian version of it. Oh, okay. Tagine is awesome. Yes. Who was? Nabul was talking about Moroccan tagine. Yes. I think, you know what? I think I'd kind of like to go to Morocco sometime. It's, you know, it's been in so many movies. It looks so exotic, um, but not fancy. I'm not really, I wanted to go to the in fact, when we went to Cancun, we had all these. My cousin's was our travel guide, and not guide, but she's the one that set up the travel, and we told her we didn't want one of the big hotels. We wanted something that was old and Mexican-y, and I'm glad we went when we did, because years later, and this place was old school. It had the tile floors, it had the little stucco walls and everything. And then years later, when not VH1, what's the other one? Not VH1, but MTV. They started doing spring break there, and they'd torn down that place, and there was a big high-rise, and that's where they were staying, was on that piece of property. Dos Playas is the name of the beach, because there are two beaches, and then there's this rock, and they go in different directions. And so I was like, oh, we got to it before they tore it down. So I like the little places. I like the off the beaten track places. So let's see. Nabula, yes, it can be very modern and very exotic. Yeah, and I think I'd stick to more of the exotic area. I would want it modern enough so that I can deal without modern bathrooms, but if I had my druthers, I'd like a good shower and a good bathtub. But I can deal without all of that. We're talking. Somebody said something about Africa. Well, if Africa, yeah, I'm going to do all of Africa someday, in my dreams. No, no. It's a very big possibility that I might get to Africa, but I don't think I'll be able to do all of Africa. Gemma says, I will have a few coming back soon. I'm working on my schedule now. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Oh, Happy Trails said that to Gemma. Oh, good. Happy Trails. So, yeah, see, you're travel too. And are you having troubles with coming up with stuff because of COVID? I'm kind of like, I have a couple kind of that I'm working on, but one is old footage from, about 3 years ago. And then the other one is I lost my dog. She passed away last week, about a week and a half ago. And I'm doing she was my road dog and my co-pilot on a lot of trips. And I started putting together one of her, and I just have to keep putting it down and walking away from it. So I don't know when it's going to get finished, but she was my baby. And I only had her for about 2.5 years. She was a rescue dog. So we knew going into it she was older, but it doesn't make it any easier when you go, okay, well, she's this old, she's got about this much time. She was my baby. So I'm going to do, thank you, Gemma. I'm going to do a memory one on her, but I keep going in, I get a little bit of editing done, and then I kind of choke up and have to back out. So that one's coming up, but I'm not sure when. And then I have, like I said, I have another one that's from footage from a couple of years ago. But yeah, coming up with new stuff. I've done some kayaking because I can social distance, but it's been hard because this county is up in the mountains, and normally, during the week, there's not very many people here, and you can social distance and you can do stuff. But we get a lot of tourists, and now COVID's starting to creep in, and we had our first 2 deaths yesterday. So, coming up with travel things when you can't really get out and travel is kind of hard. There are a couple places that I have on my list that I want to do. Yeah, it's hard, Journeyman, when, I think I thought I was prepared because we knew that the cancer had a little bit of surgery done on it twice, and then it just spread, and we knew it was coming up. We had a couple of months to prepare for it, and then I thought I was ready, and I wasn't. I keep reaching down at the bottom of the bed to pet her in the middle of the night. She's not there. So, yeah. Park travel short videos. Oh, just reviews. Oh, okay. Yeah, somebody told me that I should do something about I have done a few things like food for kayak trips, and I have one where I'm going to do all of my camping gadgets. So yeah, the how-to, I have been working on some how-to stuff. And it's trying to see what my people who regularly watch me are into. And the funny thing is, my Disney videos over time they slowly creep up, but they don't really get the interest that going through the mountains or through the gold country or the little small towns that I do. They just don't get that kind of interest. So I think it's because just there's so many Disney channels out there, and but yeah, I did, like I said, I did get to do my hometown, but that's because I knew where everything was. I knew where I could get in and get out and not be around people. And in our state, we're back to having to wear masks in public. They rescinded that, and they wanted it to be voluntary, but too many people didn't want to do it. So it's now you have to do it. What's that? Oh, so much more for Disney, gotta rank and search, yeah. These were old ones from my old channel, the Grandma Chronicles, and that was just me hanging out with my grandkids. But I reworked the footage just because I didn't have anything to upload. And so I went back in and I used that footage. So it was good so that I could stay consistent in my uploads. But yeah, there's not the interest. They slowly pick up and stuff, but yeah. Let's see. What else do we have here? Oh, you went camping during the weekend? Oh, I will check that out, Gemma. I love camping. I absolutely love camping, which is why when my husband retires, we're going to trick out the van and just start traveling around to different places. So much easier than setting up a tent every night, which we get grumpy about. And like, when you're traveling and you're going from this place to this place, setting up a tent every night and then tearing it down is not fun. I've done that. When we're like a couple of weeks ago when we went out kayak camping, and you get to a specific place, an island, and then you set it up and you can leave it up for a few days. Yeah, that's no big deal, but that every night thing. So we're going to trick out the van, put the bed and stuff in there, and that way we can take our house with us. It's funny watching the older videos that suddenly pick up and surge with views. Yes, with no reason I can see. Yeah, I've had some that just picked up. Oh, and on my old channel, I go back and I look and I went, I've got 1,700 views. Where did that come from? And because I'm not even, I don't even do that channel anymore. So, yeah, Desmond's Donders, us too. Yeah, it's my ski videos usually do well. When I worked at Dodge Ridge, that one, every winter, because it's been a couple of winters since I did that. Every winter it starts, people are checking it out. And then last, at the new mountain that I work at Bear Valley, I made that one, and that picked up. So a lot of people, I guess it's people who, oh, I want to go skiing. Oh, I'm going to check this out. In fact, when I was working at Dodge Ridge, and that one really took off, I kept having people ski up to me and go, I saw you on YouTube. I know who you are. So that was kind of fun. But yeah, it's funny to see the ones that pick up. I had one on my old channel on a GoSun. Mine was. They have them in all sizes. GoSun makes it's a cylindrical tube with double layer of glass, and it's a solar oven. And I have a couple of them, and they come in this clamshell thing that goes like this and zips up. They only weigh about 2.5 pounds. But you can fit quite a bit of food in there. You can fit a couple of hot dogs or sausages. You can fit 10 meatballs. And I've done 3 thighs in there. I had to take the bones out and cut them down so that all that fat stuff was gone. And then I put like a little bit of white wine and some shallots and stuff in there. And I did this video when we unboxed it. My granddaughters and I, we cooked on it, and I just sent it to GoSun. Well, about a month or 2 later, they had taken a bunch of videos that various people who bought the GoSun, mine was the GoSun Go, it's the smallest one that they have, and they had compiled videos. Well, they put mine at the front. There were 50 videos. They put mine first, and then they used my thumbnail. And so all of a sudden, that's the reason that one took off. But it had nothing to do with me. It had to do with the product and then the product sharing me out. So that one still gets a lot of views. But I was talking about maybe doing my gadgets, my camping gadgets. And I'll put some GoSun in there. I don't expect it to take off because obviously I got promoted by the company. But yeah, the GoSun is fantastic. Okay, here's my one caveat. My friend Jen and her man get up later than I do. And I need to put the biscuits in the GoSun before she gets up, not once she gets up and start cooking. Because in the early morning it takes a little longer. You're dealing with the sun and the angle of the sun. And so instead of 20 minutes, which is, during the day to cook the biscuits, it only takes 20 minutes. But in the morning it takes about 40 minutes. So I've learned my lesson. Biscuits, and don't overstuff the biscuits or it explodes. But biscuits take a while in the morning. But during the day, I've actually done it when it was overcast and sprinkling, and it's still, you try out the GoSun. Now they have different sizes. So I live in my van by choice, got rid of the RV too big. Yeah, I'm with you. That's my husband and I, we don't want an RV, we want to, fix up the van. But as far as the GoSun, David, the GoSun Go, like I said, it's only about this big. It's about 2.5 pounds, and it's got the clamshell that zips closed, so it protects that cylinder that it cooks in. But there's a bigger one, and it's about this long, and it also has a backpack thing, and it does clamshell to protect it, but it's not quite as protected. But it's like actually more than twice as big, and you can cook quite a bit in there. And they're making new ones all the time. They've got one that's like this big, and it'll cook 2 loaves of bread at a time. Plus, it has a battery that stores the power from the sun, so you can take it inside at night and use that. So, yeah, I love my GoSun. So, anyway, so, you know what? I think it's been over an hour. This is the longest I've gone. This is like technically my 4th live. But one was a couple years ago, and I was just testing it out, and I was all confused. So this is my 3rd live, and I've done them all in the past month. And this is the longest I've gone for a live, ever. So, I think I'll just say goodbye, and I will see you next time. And hopefully I get my video done for my dog, but if not, I'll have something else coming out next Tuesday. So, see you later.